I'm going to go ahead and date myself here with a somewhat shocking confession. So I've been in marketing since before Facebook ads were actually even a thing. In fact, back in the day, like over a decade ago, when I was working at a traditional old school ad agency, the whole idea of Facebook annoyed us actually tremendously. And here's why. We had some clients and they saw this hot new platform, people were flocking to it, and they're like, hey, people are logged into this thing all the time, looking at it day and night, night and day, right? This is a tool that we can use to build our business for free. Of course, even at the time, we knew that that was a completely misguided thought. Now, what we were not sure of at the time is exactly all the reasons why that thought was misguided. But we did know that, first of all, pretty much nothing worth doing for growing your business can be done for free. So this has long been true, still is true to this day. In fact, even these clients I'm referring to from back in the day who thought they had it figured out, they instinctively knew that things that you do for free don't actually work. And you knew that they knew that for sure because they were spending 7 figures a year on traditional advertising like TV, radio, newspaper, direct mail, etc. They'd been doing that for years, and they did it because they knew it worked. They had a really good thing going because we would push the right buttons, and those traditional mediums would get them ROI every single time, like clockwork. So why would Facebook be any different? Why would they expect a return on no investment while knowing what they knew and always had known about having to pay for other advertising? As it turned out, those clients had way more than just the free part wrong. There is another component at play here as well, and what they didn't understand is that people on Facebook want to see things that they consider cool and relevant, not our boring old direct response TV commercials just syndicated in a new place online, right? Now, around that same time, I was learning the power of online marketing, mostly from my wife, who'd been at it for several years already at that time. Now, we ended up discovering it would be a better direction for us to partner up and forge our path together in the online world, and that turned out to be a great decision for us, but I digress. So that's sort of a tangent of a story of how we ended up becoming husband and wife, business partners, and we can tell that story another time. So back to a little bit more about being cool and relevant on a platform that demands that business owners who use it be cool and relevant. In some of those early days, as I was transitioning from being a traditional ad guy to a more online focused ad guy, we had a client whose brand was all about dogs. Guess what? That brand killed it on Facebook. We grew this client's Facebook presence to 10,000 fans in what seemed like no time at all without spending a dime, zero, on advertising. And if you really think about it, the reason was simple. People love dogs. Many people, you might say, are even obsessed with dogs. But you know what people don't necessarily love and what they're not really that obsessed with? Finding out what's on sale this month. Now, they might go seek out that information sometime in a circular or via email or something, but for generally speaking, knowing what's on sale is considered boring, uncool, irrelevant, even salesy, God forbid. That's what the business wants to do, not what the customer wants to see. So even back in the day, it paid to be relevant and cool. Business pages used to be able to get by on just that and achieve what people in our industry call organic reach, as in reaching people without having to pay to reach them. But that all changed a few years back as Facebook had repeatedly limited organic reach of business pages, and then one day kind of completely removed the ability to achieve organic reach pretty much at all. So a lot of people running pages at that time were really mad. They felt like they'd have the rug pulled out from under them. And for good reason, I guess. I mean, they were used to it working a certain way, and then things changed drastically. What seemed like overnight, probably to them. But Facebook always owned this platform. They had built it from the ground up. They had the right to do what they wanted to make money off of it. And I, for one, don't fault them at all for pretty much killing off organic reach. They are a business after all, and businesses exist to make a profit, not to mention their responsibility to shareholders as a publicly traded company. So at that time, tons of people everywhere were lamenting the death of organic reach, and some people probably out there still are. But the really cool thing most people haven't even considered is that Facebook still pretty much works exactly the way it did for that client close to 10 years ago. Except for that it's even easier to find an audience that will think your content is relevant. Although it still can't be dry, boring, or overtly salesy. In fact, Facebook has gotten much better at showing the right content to the right person at the right time, just about every time. It's almost crazy how well that works, in fact. So business owners have an even greater opportunity now than they did back when we built that big following with organic reach. So the only part that's not the same is it's no longer free, but really when you look at it and you compare it to other advertising mediums, especially that have been going on a long time, it really kind of sorta is pretty close to free. I'm like talking about like ability to reach people and actually get results for something like a 4-figure budget instead of a 5, 6, or 7-figure budget, things like that. The low cost of advertising on Facebook is actually astounding, to the point where I can't understand the complaints anyone still has about spending a few bucks to reach literally the exact perfect people who will become their ideal customers. Of course, you can spend higher amounts on Facebook as well, but nobody really does that unless the revenue increases predictably alongside the ad budget. In other words, it's probably the most effective and the most flexible platform in the history of the world. It's so good that actually sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. So to summarize, building a loyal following on Facebook requires what it always required: being cool, being relevant, and yes, now it does require spending a small amount of money. Big deal, right? It's an investment in the future of your business. One that I don't think can be ignored in the modern era if you're trying to build a business. I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. My name is Andrew Liddell. I'm from Traffic & Co., and I help speakers, authors, coaches, experts, and other entrepreneurs generate more revenue through Facebook ads. My team and I do this through what we call the finding your people method. In other words, you have to find the exact right people to show your ads to, and we're great at helping people do that. And if you found value in this content, we definitely appreciate it if you'd like, share, comment. You can send us a direct message if we're on Facebook. You can subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you'd like to get in touch about us helping you find your people, you can drop us a line through any of those mediums or at trafficandco.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.